So a lot of you may know already that I am pregnant, and I am going actually towards my third trimester. I'm actually on my third trimester of pregnancy, and it's been quite the journey. Lots to reflect on and stuff like that. So I thought, why not give you guys a little recap as to how my first trimester has been and the things that I've kind of experienced during my first trimester. Guys, so for those of you guys who don't know me, my name is Nurse Nyamouch, and I'm an overseas nurse from Canada, working and living in the UK. Like I said, we're going to talk all about my pregnancy, first trimester, give it a little recap, because it's been, now that I've written it down on paper, I'm like, wow, I thought it was just like nothing. And I was like, wow, I actually experienced quite a bit. So let's get into it. So first trimester, when we say the first trimester of pregnancy, we are typically talking about weeks 4 to 12. So those first initial weeks of pregnancy and stuff like that. So from week 4 to about week 6, let's break that down. Things that I experienced in that was more of like starvation. Like my family, we know we eat a lot. We love food. I just felt like I was starving. Like, I just can't even describe how it felt. I felt like I could eat the whole entire world. And every moment I got, it just felt like my actual body was eating me alive. And it just felt like I was being absorbed from the inside in, like, out and stuff like that. And I just needed food all the time. But so that was what happened basically between weeks 4 to 6. And then come week 6, the starvation kind of settled and stuff like that. I was still hungry and stuff like that, but not starving. And then come week 6 to 12, that's when I start to see a little bit more of the pregnancy stuff. I've just written a list down here. That's why I keep looking down. Metallic taste, this has all been throughout the whole entire pregnancy or so, but my mouth just feels dry. Just felt dry all the time. So I'm always having to have sips of water. I could be dry because I talk too much, but we don't know. Nipple soreness, that was a slight thing that kind of happened. You know, I was really excited. I was like, my boobs are going to grow. Didn't happen. Still waiting for this. This is like when I hit puberty, and I was so excited, and it just never happened. And this is the same. So we're still waiting on that. So the nipple soreness was a thing, but the breasts, I don't notice a difference. Tiredness. Tiredness was huge, and it still is huge. Prior to pregnancy, I did have anemia, or I do have anemia and stuff like that. So I think that on top of pregnancy is just like, I'm just wiped out. I don't know how I function half the time. But tiredness was huge. So just sleeping all the time and things like that, or wanting to sleep every moment I got. To the point where, like, even at work, I'd eat my lunch, even like with 20 minutes, guys. I shit you not, at work, there's a couch there. I'd just lay down, curl up into a little ball, and I'd pass out for about 20 minutes or so, and then wake up. I hated waking up after, because I was like, oh, I'm drowsy or like groggy, and like just didn't want to go back to work. But every nap I squeezed in there. My eating habits didn't really change in regards to what I liked or disliked. There wasn't anything that I wasn't like, I'm put off by. Actually, there's one thing. My husband's drinking. When I say this, he's not a drinker or anything like that. But the smell of alcohol just was not it for me. I just wanted to throw up every single moment I smelled alcohol. And he could have one drink, a sip, anything, just one thing of alcohol. And I was just like, get away from me. I don't want anything to do with you. You stay over there, because I feel like I'm going to vomit. That was probably the only thing. But like nothing else serious. I couldn't even stand the smell of alcohol at that point as well. Spotting and lightly bleeding and stuff like that. I did experience a little bit of that. And you know what? That gave me a heart attack the first time I experienced that. And I was like, no. This can't be happening. But anyways, it was just like, I think it happened like once or twice, and then like nothing else again. So it is expected. When I was looking up on the NHS website and stuff like that too, it says that it's normal, especially because the egg is kind of like burrowing into the uterus and just kind of like settling in. So making itself cozy. Hair. So they say that within the first trimester or within pregnancy, your hair gets thicker, it gets shinier and things like that. I didn't feel like I really noticed this. Except like I had my hair relaxed at the time. 2 was like in braids, and I just naturally have thick hair anyway, so I didn't really think anything of it. Although my sister did make a compliment to me when I was back home and said, "Wow, your hair looks really nice," didn't it? So maybe baby's helping me out in that situation. Don't know. Darkening and brown patches on my skin. I don't really think my skin got any darker. I'm naturally already this dark and beautiful, so I don't know. I don't think so, but let me know. People can let me know. I feel like my skin more is like glowing, and it's just more of like shiny and radiant. I haven't really noticed anything else in my skin. It says like you could expect to get dizziness and headaches. Not really a big thing. That didn't really bother me during the pregnancy. But what did bother me though was nausea, vomiting. Oh, morning sickness slapped me every single morning. It was terrible. Morning sickness was just like the worst experience ever. I was expecting it, but like I also wasn't expecting it. And like I was going back, I was thinking, what did they say in nursing school? Oh, dry carbohydrates. Literally, I ate so many crackers. Dry carbohydrates before you get out of bed. Had crackers next to my bed. Did that help? No. This child still made me sick. And then it got worse, like to the point where even brushing my teeth, I'd go, I'm one of those weird people, brush their tongues. I don't know if it's weird or not, but even just doing that triggers gag reflex, done. That whole days, every morning was started with a vomit. It just was disgusting. It was awful. I didn't like it. So it started off as just morning sickness, first thing in the morning, this, like just like that. And then it went on to be more of like a sickness after my meals. So I'd eat something and I'd just feel nauseous and I just feel like I'm going to throw up and stuff like that. And then at one point it moved on to like I was literally vomiting after every single meal. Yeah, I was so concerned. I was like, I don't even know if I can take any anti-sickness for this. And I went to the pharmacist at work. I was like, look, sis, this is what's happening. What kind of sickness can you take? What kind of anti-sickness can you take during pregnancy? Because I'm about to starve here. And I don't want to starve, you know? So, and she gave me a couple names and stuff like that to discuss with my midwife and things like that. But then it kind of like settled a little bit. But then it got to the point where like, I just felt like my food was just sitting here in my esophagus or wherever, you know, and it just like was not being absorbed. It just was sitting there. I kept telling my husband, I was like, look, the food is just there. And like the only way to get rid of it was to vomit it out. Guys, this was terrible. So that's my experience of the first trimester. It also says that mood swings are kind of expected and stuff like that. I think I've been chilled through this pregnancy. This pregnancy has helped me. You know, normally I'm like a angry person. I don't know, but I've been really chill. I haven't really noticed any mood swings or anything like that. So yeah, first trimester I think it's kind of like up and down and stuff like that. And I think the biggest thing for me was more of like the sickness part, or just like the vomiting and like just the uncomfortable feeling when you want to eat all of this food, but you can't because you're going to be sick. So things that I did just to try and help a little bit with my morning sickness was to eat a little bit of smaller but more frequent meals, just so that I'm still getting all of my calorie intakes and all the nutrition that I need. So, you know, I made very conscious decisions after, like with every meal, to just have a small portion and maybe eat another 2 hours or every couple hours and stuff like that. Sitting upright within the first trimester as well. Things that I took were my vitamins. So these were just, I think there was another brand that I took, but I can't remember. So these were just our generic, or Yeah, there's another brand. These ones I just got from Hollander Barracks. Is that how you say it? I don't know. I'll write the name. So these were just the pregnancy supplements that they recommend you take for the first trimester. So they were 3 different packs. So they included folic acid, the DHA, and then the iron supplements as well. So I think during this time in pregnancy, according to the NHS website, according to the midwives, they're like, you need to take some kind of these vitamins and stuff like that. So I just took one of these a day throughout the whole entire first trimester, and then come to second trimester, they were kind of like, yeah, no, that's enough. You don't have to take any of it anymore. So yeah, so those were the supplements that I took. Towards the first trimester, once I found out, so I think it's very important for you guys, especially here in the UK, just to let your employers know as soon as or when you start to feel comfortable about baby and your pregnancy and stuff like that, just so they can start to make changes and arrangements for you. So my work, I think they found out about 8 to 10 weeks. And I wasn't initially gonna tell them at that point, but I am grateful that they did find out at that point anyways, because that just meant they were able to protect me a little bit in regards to the patients that I could work with and stuff like that. So as far as right now, whenever they can, they'll send me to our cleaner unit rather than being on the ward and stuff like that with all the infections. I am kind of limited to also not work. They do protect me from not working with all the infection patients as well. So COVID or any other infections that the patients may have. In my case, they've even gone to the point where they have started to give me less physically heavy patients. So that way I don't actually have to do a lot of movements and manual handling and such. So that's been really good. In regards to maternity benefits, when I went and saw the midwife for the first time, she let me know a list of stuff that I'm now entitled to. So things like free dental care and stuff like that. So from when I got pregnant till a year after baby is going to, till a year after. So once baby becomes 1, then that's when my benefits would then stop. Also free prescription as well, but realistically all I'm taking right now is iron, but they will come in handy and stuff like that. I will do another video just to give you a little bit of a list of what other benefits there may be, if there is anything out there that the government or you are offered to and stuff like that. The NHS website is a really great resource. I will link it down below. On here, it's a really great resource just to kind of find stuff for what you need for pregnancy, what maybe you can or cannot eat, what are you expecting to feel or experience during the first trimester, second trimester, or throughout your pregnancy and stuff like that. Realistically, anything I need, I just kind of Google it, I check, and the NHS website is always the one that comes up. I'm sure if you are in Canada and elsewhere, Alberta Health Services, Ontario Health Services, whatever province you're at, might have some information as well. If not, the NHS websites are accessible to everybody. So they've been a really great resource and a really great help. So I'll definitely link some of those down there. Anyways, guys, that's the end of this video. That's the end of this video. Stay tuned for the next video where I talk to you about my second trimester recap and any other videos that I bring out. Thank you. We'll talk to you later.